Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. This audio is a serious attempt to enlighten a highly misinformed population so that the myth around a twin flame union and the bubble of deception that a lot of you have been consciously or unconsciously living in can be busted once and for all. This is especially important for those people who clearly use spirituality as a cover up for their infidelity. And therefore, this audio is for all those women, especially who have conveniently cherry picked the definition of a twin flame or conveniently cherry picked the version of union, one that suits them as opposed to what it actually is, and therefore it is a cycle of frustration, longing, back to back failure, and a downward fall, like a fall from grace, is what I'm hearing from spirit. So, whether you are a salacious feminine or an asleep feminine that's picking and choosing spirituality as an escape from reality, this audio is for you and for all those people who have no clue about the depth and the dedication that a twin flame path requires. I want to make it very clear that in no way is this going to be some sort of a moral lecture to anyone. You're all adults. You can choose to have whatever kind of life you have. But what I'm trying to explain to you here is that if your actions and if your conduct and if your thoughts are totally misaligned, then you cannot blame circumstances for the disastrous outcomes that you face in your life. This message is coming from a place of concern, especially after I have interacted with so many women through the soul care sessions, it has become even more evident to me. Do you know how many emails and how many women contact me because they are desperately seeking love? And they just want to find someone to grab hold of someone because maybe the marriageable age is passing by, or because they are a single mom, or because you're getting old. And 90% of my clients, 90% of the women I interact with, they are either 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years elder to me. There's just a population of about 5% that's younger to me, and about 5% that's my age. And this journey has got nothing to do with age. You can be a 70-year-old man, or you can be a 20-year-old person. You can be very wise, you can have all the knowledge. It's all about how are we perceiving our reality, how are we using our setbacks. Are we using the setbacks to fall into a deep hole of misery, or are we using the setback as a challenge to grow ourselves? So the first thing that I want to do is, please pause the message, take a look at the screen, because I have made these two charts, one on the left and one on the right, and I want you to take a look at it. The chart on the left says what people think a twin flame is, while in reality the chart on the right explains what being a twin flame actually means. So all those people, the conscious light workers, the real twin flames, as I always mention in every audio and in every community post, that this is a very, very rare connection to happen on earth. It is a very rare and a huge blessing to be a twin flame. Not everyone on earth can be a twin flame, and not every person who is a twin flame is meant to live with their partner. And in this audio, what I'm going to cover is what a twin flame union is and what it's not, the huge misconception around inner work, under what circumstances will you not be in a physical union with your twin, what if your twin is married to someone, what if you are single, and the most important part, the ways in which a man tests a woman to determine if she is worth investing, and certain common red flag behaviors in men and women that ruin their prospects of attracting a stable and a high quality soulmate in their life. But because there is so much desperation around finding love and jumping onto one person from another, I want to start by speaking about the ways in which a man tests a woman, because a lot of you have experienced back to back heartbreaks, disappointments. And you know what? We are all human beings. It's okay to make mistakes. But if that same mistake keeps repeating, whether with the same person or with multiple people, it's a huge wake up call for you that please take a pause before you jump onto some other person or before you frantically start looking left, right, and center for a relationship. Please take a pause and ask yourself that why am I facing these issues? And this is exactly what inner work is. I was having a session with a client, and by God's grace, all the 7 soul care sessions that I have had have been wonderful, with an exception of 2. And why I say that is because, it will always happen that, let's say, on a daily basis or on a monthly basis, if you deal with hundreds and thousands of people, 80% are going to be absolute sweethearts, but you will always have that tiny percentage, those few people who act over smart, and they are those lying, manipulating hypocrites who come thinking that they can get away with the trash. But what happens is that this one lady connected with me, and from the start she was lying to me, okay? And when I began speaking to her through the session and I asked her just a couple of questions, she was unable to answer, okay? And she got trapped in her own lie, and she eventually ended up saying, okay, fine, I admit I'm lying. And this is what I'm the one who's chasing, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And she got so flustered up. She said, what the hell is this inner work all about? I have all these meditations, I have all these books in my library and stuff like that, And that's when I realized that it is very important for me to do this audio, because it's important. A lot of you have some very, very twisted and distorted versions of inner work and union. And I want to start by saying that inner work is not knowing zillions of names of spiritual teachers, collecting quotes, downloading meditations. Inner work, if it was so easy, guys, no person on earth would be in pain. It's like, when you give me these when you ask this question that, I have the Eckhart Tolle meditation, and I have read Osho's quotes and books and autobiography of a yogi and Sadhguru and this and that, all these 10, 20 names, they go down the drain when your energy, your behavior, your mentality, everything has not shifted at all. What is the point of collecting all this when your behavior, your mentality, your mindset, you're making the same, you're repeating those same mistakes over and over again? On the contrary, your frustration will only grow, and you will feel like a headless chicken running around, having no clue as to what it is. So all these behaviors are ego based, and that is why you have so much trouble seeing results in your life. So inner work is not, if you just focused on asking yourself a couple of questions, I promise you and I swear, you can ask yourself a couple of serious questions and get down to working on them, and you can discard every spiritual book that you have in your library. You will grow in leaps and bounds. These are all divination tools or aids to assist you on your spiritual path. As a person, I do not meditate daily. I'm not someone who meditates daily. But the day I have to meditate, I sit and I don't even need to get into that state of, starting from scratch, and I can just instantly connect to the higher power, and that's just my ability. Likewise, every person's gift and every person's ability is different. But please, guys, it is my humble request that when you go to a doctor or when you go to a counselor or when you go to get a reading for yourself, don't take these things lightly, because a lot of time and effort goes, and we put our heart and soul into these things, which is very serious stuff. And I instantly lose respect when I see someone is lying to me or is a hypocrite. Respect may not mean anything to you, but it means everything to me. I want to respect people, and I have no reason why I should not respect you. But when these kind of people who think they are utterly smart and then they start speaking and start lying, and they think that they will get away with it, and then misusing these titles, something so sacred for your sexual endeavors and escapades, it is disgraceful. Trust me, it is disgraceful. Now, an example of inner work would be, assuming you say that my life is in a mess and I am unhappy. I'm not happy with anything that I'm doing. This is just an example, okay? The first thing that you have to do is to first of all calm down and find yourself a place where you can get into a little bit of reflection, whether you keep a diary or a journal with you, or you do it just without anything. Ask yourself this simple question: why am I unhappy? Why am I unhappy and so triggered in life? The next question you ask is, what is making me unhappy? Is it a job that's making me unhappy? Is it a relationship or a specific person that's making me unhappy? Or is it something that I'm doing that's making me very unhappy? What is it? You will get an answer when you sit and actually think of it, because trust me, you are all very wise. Everyone has all the wisdom inside of you. All you need to do is to sit and, when we speak of the fight and flight response, everyone is in the flight mode. Everyone is running away from their problems. Everyone is running away from the misery or everything that's making you unhappy. I promise you, when you begin to question yourself, you will find you will get the answer. Your higher self will give you the answer. Now, assuming you ask yourself, what is making me unhappy? And let's say it's a job. Okay, a job is making you extremely unhappy. You are not feeling recognized. You just get a monthly salary, but you're not getting any benefit or any satisfaction, emotional satisfaction out of it for whatever reasons. The next question that you have to ask yourself is, can I do something about it right now, in this moment? If this job is making me unhappy, can I do something to make it better? And then you will get an answer, yes or no. Yes, I can do something about it, or no, I cannot do anything about it right now. So what is it that you can do to change your mindset, to shift your unhappiness to a more happy state? Does it mean you want to resign from the job? Does it mean you want to explore something else and start applying till you find something new and then you can put in your resignation? Does it mean taking an annual leave to contemplate and just take a break? When you ask these questions, you will be guided to the right answer. And now, if the answer is that no, I cannot do anything, I'm stuck, then your next question should be, but what am I feeling stuck for? Is it a co-worker? Is it a boss? I mean, it's like a series of questions that you have to go on questioning and questioning and questioning till you get to the root of the problem, and there has to be a root of the problem. And just in case you get to the conclusion that no, this is an utter mess, I really don't have any solution for it, and no one can help you with it, then at least in that moment, accept that situation. It will give you a certain amount of peace that, okay, I accept my situation, I cannot do anything about it, but when this iron is hot, that's when I will strike. Maybe there is a deal that you're waiting for. Maybe there is some sort of a major life decision that will work out in your favor, and that's when you can leave. But what I'm trying to say is that this is just an example of inner work. In that inner work, if you decide that, okay, I'm going to on a weekly basis listen to this one meditation on a Sunday afternoon after my meal, let's say, or I'm going to read this book by Osho or any spiritual teacher, that is something that's like the fuel for you to keep going on your path. But by no means are those tools symbolic of inner work, because all the inner work has to be done by us. So whether we call it shadow work or we call it inner work, and this is where I want you to take a look at the slide. So myth number 1 is that people think that a twin flame union means living with your twin, fairy tale romance, unbridled sex, that's it. And this is a huge load of crap, because if you actually are a twin flame, what being a twin flame actually means is what you see on the right. A twin flame is a solo journey. Solo. I'm not saying two people healing together. I'm not saying you are healing your twin or you are monitoring how much they have healed. This is all bullshit. Being a twin flame is a solo journey of healing and growth. Now, of course, it can happen that before both the real twins meet each other, one or both of them may have certain distorted behaviors. For example, one or both could be into, let's say, sex addiction, okay? But let me tell you, once the real twin flame encounter and the actual meeting occurs, there is no force on earth that cannot, that will not help these two people from transforming. They are transformed for good. The only thing is that how quickly or how slow the progress is, of course, that will be different. But it is impossible to meet your real twin flame and to not. I have witnessed people who, let's say, a married man, he stopped having hookups after meeting the real twin flame. Now this twin flame is single while he is married, but before meeting this twin, he was like this eternal playboy. He married only for the sake of family, but he was least bothered about being a good husband or just focused on the material and the physical aspects of things. But this is what a twin flame encounter, a real twin flame encounter does. It transforms people. And the biggest reason why people are suffering today and not seeing results in their life, whether in their personal or professional life or whatever, is because you have these major misconceptions in your head. that it is all about a fairy tale romance and sex and living with your twin flame, and that is not true. Twin flame is a solo journey, which means I have met my twin, I have had my first separation, or of course, now there are different types of people, but everyone's story will be different. But every human being, whether it is you, me, someone else, we all have certain aspects in ourselves that need to be healed. It could be a limiting belief around the way we were raised. It could be inner child healing. It could be that someone is a control freak. It could be an inability to forgive. It could be something to do with ancestral healing or past life curse that needs to be resolved in this life. Or someone could be dealing with depression, mental health, codependency. The factors can be endless. Someone can be facing acute financial instability in their life, and there are some who face all of these issues, and therefore I can guarantee you that even if you pick one item from the list, let's say you pick inner child healing, if you are a very confident and a strong person from within, it would still take at least a minimum of 6 months to 1 year if you actually dedicate yourself to healing one aspect of the whatever mess you are dealing with in your life. And therefore I really want to tell you all that you're living in a major bubble of illusion if you think that you met someone, I got so attracted to this person, and that's the end of the story. This is not like your usual romantic meetup. And now that I have told you what a twin flame union is and what it's not, your next question is, what if your twin flame is married? And what if both are married? The first thing that I want to tell you guys is that forget about twin flames. We are not talking about titles here, okay? For a moment. Because in life, there are people who are leading very normal kind of lives without having any idea of the word twin flame. And therefore, I can guarantee and tell you one thing, whether you go to a counselor, whether you go to a therapist, whether you go to a dating coach, or you speak to any sane person, one thing that everyone will tell you is that a high quality man who is married but he has fallen in love with you is not going to play mind games with you. Likewise, a high quality woman who is married but she has fallen in love with you, she will not play mind games with you. Such high quality men and women are upfront, whether they are married or they are in a live-in relationship with someone. Something that is very toxic, maybe genuinely in their life. If they truly love you, despite being married, they will tell you upfront that I love you. My intentions are definitely here to be with you, but right now there is nothing I can offer you because I need to first resolve the mess in my domestic personal life. And when I am truly in a position to be with you, I will divorce, I will give you my commitment, and then we are together forever. These kind of people exist, and I have seen with my own eyes. So the biggest red flag, whether you are a twin flame or not, is when a person, a man or a woman, is already married or is already in a relationship and they are having this roving eye and they are readily available with you and they have no sense of restraint. They instantly want to get intimate with you. There is no sense of boundary. That is a huge red flag. A man who can leave you for someone who's been with him within a matter of seconds or a few minutes, someone who's only interested in sex, that's the biggest red flag. And let me tell you, these category of men and women, now again, I'm not saying this from a place of judgment, but I'm stating facts here, okay? Because when it's daylight outside, we say the sun is shining, right? And when it's nighttime, we say it's dark outside. So the same way, I'm no one to tell you how many hookups you need to have in one day, whether you practice polyamory or not. That's not my concern. My concern is that you please stop mixing the two things together, because twin flame and multiple sex encounters, they do not go hand in hand. They really don't. These are just your distorted ways of escaping the reality and choosing only those aspects that are convenient for you. And this is how you never see results in your life, because there is no sense of boundary. So let me tell you, a playboy, a player, a fuckboy, whatever definition you want to give, he is the first one to spot a woman who is a high quality woman or a stray quality woman. And if anyone gets triggered listening to this, it will only be because you are making yourself readily available to any damn Tom, Dick and Harry and having no sense of boundary there. If you want to attract a high quality soulmate in your life, you first have to be the right woman. And by right, all I simply mean is, you don't have to just readily give yourself and throw yourself at someone. You don't have to have these desperate attempts to please someone. If there are no set of boundaries, it's like a person vanishes after a month and you're okay with it, you're longing for him. He comes back after 6 months, hey, I'm just right below your house, and you're ready to fall from your balcony into his arms. And then again he bloody has a fucked up session with you and he vanishes again for 2 months and you're okay with that. What kind of bullshit is this? And if you enjoy these kind of relationships, then it's fine. Seriously, because you know what? Who am I to judge? But twin flames, they don't behave like this. So do whatever you want in your life, but do not misconstrue the term union as being in a physical union with someone. Whether it's a woman or it's a man, they will instantly know if you are high quality or not. And then, your behavior and your conduct will decide how things proceed. So please do not be so readily available. And twin flame guys, it's nothing but the greatest and the highest ever version of a soulmate. You will meet a lot of soulmates in your life. Soulmates are people who can be friends, who can be family, who can be lovers. But the worst sadness that I feel is when I see that there are so many young girls or girls who want to get married, and then there are women who are actually happily married, but they are conveniently discarding a loving husband or a loving wife and chasing someone else who's not even their twin flame. That is the greatest disrespect, not only to your soulmate counterpart, your husband, your spouse, whoever that is, but also a great disrespect to this title twin flame. Because you have easily got something which is so precious, women are dying to have a loving husband. And when you have a loving husband and you care 3 hoots about him and all you care for is your lustful encounters outside, it is a huge pity, and I'm so sorry to say that. So this is not some kind of joke. This is a very, very serious path that requires a hell lot of dedication and deep inner work. You cannot control someone else. You really can't. Under what circumstances will you not be in a physical union with your twin? Now, assuming among the very limited number of people who are on earth as real twin flames. Even from within that category, there will be some twins who will have a physical union and they will get married for sure, but then there are some who will not. So who are those people who, and what are those circumstances under which you will not be in a physical union with your twin? The first case is when, unfortunately, one twin passes away. Okay, so your twin passes away and the other twin is left on earth. Then it is the choice of that twin to move on in life and to find another soulmate and to, move on and just lead a peaceful life with someone else, or you decide to go solo. Now that is purely depending upon the individual, because obviously the love of your life, it's a heartbreaking situation. Your twin passed away, so you have to learn to live alone. Okay, the second situation in which the physical union will not occur is when you and your twin, you decided before incarnating on earth, as per your soul contract, that they will meet you only to trigger you, to give you that Kundalini awakening, or probably that experience, dark night of the soul, and then they will vanish, never to be seen again. Not as a punishment, but because you chose this for yourself, for your soul to grow and expand. Okay, and therefore they do this part of suddenly out of nowhere meeting you, triggering your ascension, your growth, and then they move on. The third category, unfortunately, that will not have a physical union is when one twin is consciously working and the other is a very stubborn soul. They are using their free will to run away, when in their heart and soul, they feel and they know that it's a deep bond. I personally feel that those twins who have, the real twins who have really, who are present on earth at this time, they have to have a physical union if their contract is to unite as twin flames. Okay, there are a lot of layers to it, of course. Okay, because each, like I keep saying, each person's situation is very different. Each person's story and their soul lessons are very different. But one thing that you should all remember is that real twins, they can never forget each other, and the love remains constant. Whether you may not have seen them from 10 years, but even if they become 80 years old, the love and that respect that they have in their heart will always remain. And this is what distinguishes a real twin flame connection from a regular lustful connection, because lust is ego based and twin flame connections are born from out of pure love. So it's a spark. Why do we call it a spark of divine? Because it's the divine love. So you cannot manifest divine love by acting distorted. You either have to raise your standards to that level wherein you embody the divine feminine, the divine masculine within, or you gracefully exit the past and you say that, okay, this is not my cup of tea. I will neither be interested in this path, nor do I have the patience and the willingness to do so much inner work, so I quit, but I'm going to just lead a regular life. Whatever you do, guys, just be honest with it. Do not be hypocrites, because let me tell you, when real twins meet one another, when we speak, whether you go to any person for a reading or whether that is any wise person, the way you speak, the way you react, your energy, everything speaks volumes about who you are and how much inner work you have done. And there can be no lying about it. So I hope this is making certain sense. If you want to manifest love in your life, and I'm not even speaking of twin flame love, first learn to love yourself with whatever limitations you have. Stop seeing yourself as some sort of a huge liability or someone who is incapable of receiving love, because till the time you are not confident from inside, till the time you keep seeing your life as a struggle and you were meant to struggle, then those similar kind of experiences you're going to manifest. There is a person I know, she has assumed in her head that she and the twin are healing together. She actually decided to get married to someone thinking that, like a fairy tale, the last minute something will happen and the marriage will get cancelled. Give me a break, guys. It is my request that you please stop playing with people's lives and relationships like this. And it's really high time to get honest with yourself and with your relationships. In a real twin flame connection, if you really have a twin flame on earth with whom you're connected at the heart level, you will know in an instant when something happens to them, or if you see a dream, what it means and how it will translate. You will see the proof of the gift or whatever wisdom you have. For example, when my twin blocked me, okay, it was for no fault of mine, by the way. All I did was to take care of my twin in the hospital. And we had a very amazing time. We did not have any fight, but my nurturing and my care, it overwhelmed my twin to an extent that I was blocked, and my twin just vanished. And never mind, the moment I had my awakening, I realized that, okay, this is a twin flame connection. I had read about it. So I was like, fine, I understood that, okay, this panic mode has kicked in. This person is not used to so much nurture and care and genuine unconditional love. And therefore, it's okay, bless them when they feel apt, or if someday they are meant to realize, they will come and speak to me. Otherwise, it's okay. Now, the bottom line is I lost all contact, okay? We were in the same city, but one fine day, I started hearing this word relocation, relocation, relocation. And I really cannot say how the channeled message come to me. Sometimes it comes to me in the form of a dream state. Sometimes I'm hearing a voice, okay? That voice, I couldn't understand so I knew that I'm not relocating, so this is not for me, okay? And then when I sat down, I was like, is my twin relocating? And then I realized that probably my twin has relocated. I mean, I just got this message that my twin has relocated. Now, I had since I didn't have the number, I didn't have any contact, I had no basically source to find out. That's when it struck me, let me go on Google and check the LinkedIn account, because obviously my twin has a LinkedIn account. And when I checked, the location had shifted indeed. I mean, I was so shocked and I was very happy. Happy because, a point comes when you will not even doubt the guidance coming your way, or the channeled message coming your way, because it's true. So it was only in my first 2 years of the journey that I would get a message about my twin, it would end up being true, and the very next day I would see a proof of it, that yeah, what I was getting was right. And now it's like I don't even need to know anything. By God's grace, this has happened because I was fully focused on my journey. There were way too many things that I was dealing with simultaneously. I had to heal myself. I had to do simultaneously readings for people. Not one day have I sat idle. And therefore, all the aspects that you see on the right side of the screen, what being a twin flame actually is, which is a very deeply solo journey. Deeply, one can feel very lonely at times, or you can feel like no one understands me. But then we chose this for ourselves. And the blessings are way bigger than your loneliness. And I can tell you, the moment one of the reasons I did not ever long for my twin, or I did not chase someone, or I did not become a nuisance by God's grace, is because from within my 6 months of knowing that I'm a twin flame, I got head on into my journey. But each person's situation, each person's learning is different. I never tell anyone how to learn or what to read, because what I'm interested in, you may not be interested in that. Or my levels of focus and your levels of focus might be polar opposite. What is important is not the speed in which you grow. What is important is to look beyond the ego and the physical desire and look for the deeper meaning behind the connection. You are free to, have multiple encounters with anyone, but just don't lie to yourself and don't lie to the people around you. So in that aspect, I do appreciate people who are honest and transparent to the core, and they're like, what, this is not my cup of tea, I cannot do this, but I'm happier doing this. So great, do that. But posing to be like a sacred, spiritual being, while your actions are polar opposite, and you are lying at the drop of your hat, and you are manipulating every second person who comes to you, that is nothing but utter disgrace. So please stop doing that, guys. And this is exactly what the idea behind this message is, that your cherry-picked version of twin flame union is nothing but a disaster, and it will only lead to unhappiness within. So if you truly want to grow, you have to let the other person go, surrender to your path, and look at the innumerable messes in your own life and start questioning them and start healing them. And it is exactly 1444 as I say that, as per my local time. Huge confirmation. So wow, the message has already become 42 minutes and I would like to end here. I apologize in case the message has triggered anyone, but like I said, the idea was only to tell you that this is not some random connection that feels like a college romance or any such thing. On the contrary, this is something extremely deep. And if you still don't understand, then I guess you will have to face numerous instances of ups and downs and heartaches, and till you finally get the message one fine day. But I want to see every feminine in her divine form and not in her distorted form. I want every feminine to know that you are capable of manifesting love within and love outside. As long as your actions are in line with your words and what you think, you will manifest a beautiful life for yourself. So thank you to all those who actually took out time to listen to this entire message. I'm not sure if you have listened to the complete message because it's really become very long. But either ways, thank you for all the love, and to all those who have been reaching out till date for readings. Any person you connect with, please make sure that you are honest and transparent, and please don't play any mind games. That will really go in your favor, okay? And all my details are available on the website. Those who don't use PayPal can connect through Fiverr. And on that note, I pray that you have a wonderful week ahead. Sending you lots of love, guys. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.